Gentlemen, impatience. 2026 is year of absolute brutal impatience. You no longer wait. Forget all of the childish notion of dedication, motivation, patience, perseverance, all that crap. That is gone. You need to act and win now. If someone wants a meeting, it has to happen right away. Someone wants to talk, it's now. Someone wants to do business, pay me. No more games. Every single second, the game gets harder. Absolute brutal impatience. Everybody who understands what I understand about 2026, about the world we're living in, and about the reality of the situation we face. There is no time left. It's very important for 2026, you create a reality of optimism. You create a reality of positivity. You see opportunities. You try. The people around you have fire in their eyes. They believe they can do it. This is the most important thing you can do to ensure you live a life worth living. Do not waste another year.
The trick to life is to self-hypnotize. The trick to life is to look in the mirror and say, yes, in a year from now, I'm going to have everything I've ever dreamed of. I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be well-known. I'm going to have everything I've ever aspired to have in 365 days from now if I do all of the work. You can decide that the results are waiting for you. You can decide that you have a 100% chance of success. And once that's done, you don't have to struggle with motivation. You don't have to struggle with being dedicated. You're not going to worry about how hard the work is because you know it's going to pay off in the end.
I never doubted for a second I would be what I am. I knew I would be rich. I just knew I would be rich and be free and be able to do and say what I wanted. Mm-hmm. I just knew that. I was just like, there's no way that guy in the Ferrari who drove past me is a better person. There's no way he's smart.
Yeah. People often ask me how it feels to be so rich, and I'm going to try and explain it to you without arrogance, without bravado, without bragging. I want to genuinely make normal income people understand how it feels to be so rich. So it's extremely hard for me to put a price on how much money I have. But for the normie who's sitting there wondering, so now let me explain to you how it feels to be rich, that rich. I grew up in a Luton Council estate with no money. I grew up poor. I grew up in a single parent household. I was a fighter, and then I started to make some money, and then I ended up one of the most famous men in the world and mega wealthy. The thing that's crazy about being super rich is you don't think, wow, look at that. How much does that cost? I can afford that. You just think, I want that. The whole money side of things gets removed when you're rich. So I want you to understand that when you hit ultra wealthy, the world is free. It feels like the world is free. When I go into a restaurant, I don't look at the price of anything on the menu. I don't even notice the prices. They don't even register to me. I don't even accidentally see them. There are no prices. I look at the food. I want this and this and this. And when the bill comes, I don't look at the bill. I just pay it. They could have charged me 10 times the amount. It doesn't matter. I just scan my card. Or one of my staff scan a card. So everything is free. You don't think I can afford things. You think things are free. I know this sounds strange, but this is what it feels like. There's no price consideration. There's no value consideration. I know there's some rich people who like still drive a Toyota and all this shit. They're not actually rich. That's all cope for brokies to feel better. If I was rich, I'd drive a Toyota like that guy. The rich guy who still drives a Toyota is either autistic or not rich, because the rich people I know have yachts and Bugattis and private jets. The rich people I know own planes. So the rich people you know who still drives a Bugatti, the rich people you know who still drives a Toyota and doesn't drive a Bugatti and he just drives a Toyota, he's not rich. He has a couple $100,000 in stocks and you think he's rich because you're poor. A couple $100,000 is literally lunch. It's lunch for me. I spend $100,000 on lunch. You don't know what wealthy is. So please get rid of all that cope that rich people don't spend money. Rich people spend $20,000 on a bottle of wine to drink when they're already drunk and they don't even notice. So when you're actually rich, everything is free. Because we talked about cars and give an example. If I walk into a showroom, I look at the cars, I go, do I want this Lamborghini? I don't think how much does it cost? I don't think, can I afford it? I don't think, wow, I can afford it easily. Wow, it's cheap. I don't think any of that. I think, do I have somewhere to put it? Who's going to maintain it? Who's going to service it? Am I going to drive it? Who's going to take pictures of it to show off on the internet? Because I can't be bothered. I don't need it. There's no money consideration. It's free anyway. I could take the car, not take the car. My bank balance looks exactly the same. It's just a matter of convenience and storage and staff. It's the same with women. When you become extremely rich and extremely famous, you can have any girl you want. So it's not like, oh, I want her, I'm gonna get her. You just still go, do I need her? Is she trouble? Is she stress? No, can't be bothered. Everything is free. Everything is on a plate in front of you. It's an endless buffet. And I really want to articulate this point. You stop considering the purchasing action. You don't sit and think, I have to purchase this and I can afford it because I'm rich. There is no purchasing. The world has shifted. You're in an alternate reality where every hotel is free. Every restaurant is free. Every woman will go with you. Car dealerships are free. Clothes are free. Watches are free. Everything is free all of the time. You're just walking through like a game show, Truman Show, and everything is completely free for you. And it's just a matter of if you can be bothered to put it somewhere, bothered to store it, bothered to look after it. So if you ever are lucky enough, that's the wrong word. If you ever work hard enough, because it's actually very easy to do if you dedicate yourself, to become monumentally wealthy, genuinely rich. If you ever become that rich and the entire world becomes free to you, you don't go through life thinking I can afford things. You go through life thinking everything is just on a plate to be given to you, complimentary. But I wanted you to understand the feeling. You understand?
There's a lot of people who complain about the bad things that happen in their life, not understanding that without the bad things, you'd have no life at all. You need all of the bad things. You need the mental struggle. You need to go through things which you regret. You need to sit and say, well, I felt the sting of regret for X. I don't want to feel the sting of regret for Y. You need this experience, and that's what life is all about.
Humans are ungrateful. No matter how much you have, no matter how well you do, you're going to get used to it. And it's not going to feel fantastic anymore. This morning, I woke up and had a $400 cigar for breakfast. My butlers had prepared my coffee, and I got out of bed, went into my cigar room in Romania, and it feels like everyday life. Hedonistic adaptation is a bitch. No matter how fantastically you build your life, it's always going to feel normal. Even if you become one of the most famous people on the planet, even if you become a billionaire, it's going to feel completely normal to you. And sometimes you have to just slow down and remember that you're richer than everyone else.
I want to have to wake up every day and grind out and become richer than everyone else because I work harder than everyone else and I try harder than everyone else. I don't want to feel motivated. I want to feel tired and stressed. I want to run on pure discipline and adrenaline. Nobody is motivated at 4 a.m. Nobody. But some people are up anyway.
If you love your parents, how can you still be sitting at home playing video games being a lazy piece of shit? Don't you want people to remember them? Don't you want people to think, wow, who's this person who raised this amazing person? That, in and of itself, should be endless motivation. If you believe in the work you are doing and you focus on the work you are doing day at a time, the result comes.
You're not a man when you always win. You're a man when you stand up and you do the thing you're supposed to do because you were brave. Fighters fight. And you're a man when you face fear. So I'm not afraid of losing. I'm afraid of not fighting. The day I'm too much of a coward to fight is the day I lose. As long as I'm prepared to fight, I'm a winner.
You know, for everybody at home, it's okay to lose, but it's not okay to live with a what if. I can sleep knowing I lost. I couldn't sleep watching all the Misfits fights thinking I could have done it and not try. I can't live that way. I'm not a what if guy. My life is going to be a tale of all the times I tried and succeeded and tried and failed. There's not going to be a single what if hanging over my head on my deathbed. And I just encourage everyone at home to do the exact same thing. If you're wondering about something or you're not sure about something, fucking go. Because you can live with the loss. You can't live with the what if.
You have to pay the price for things in life. You can't get anything for free. It's either the risk of losing or it's the permanent dull ache of what if, what could have been, what could I have achieved if only I was a little bit braver or a little bit more tenacious. And I would rather go through the pain of a fight camp and the risk of a fight than live the rest of my human years with a dull ache of what could I have been, what could I have done.
Subscribe to Rumble Premium to watch me knock out Chase Demore live.
Any man who sits there and listens to any of the shit society tells him is going to be fucking miserable. No woman wants a 50-50 relationship. No woman wants that. A woman wants a man she respects enough to hand authority over to. That's what they want. They don't want no 50-50. If you're genuinely thinking, I need to keep my woman happy, it needs to be 50-50. If you believe in this shit, you're in for a wild ride, friend. Because it ends badly, 1,000% of the time, because it's a feminine-led imperative. It's not good for a man to act in any way the way society tells him. So don't believe it.
So I had a guy, I'm going to keep it private who he was, but he was he's verified. He's actually a very well-known celebrity dude. And he was hitting me up on Twitter for advice on girls. He had a problem with his girl, whatever. And he was explaining his situation about how his girl still talks to his ex, and he told her not to, and she won't stop, and all this shit. And I told him what to do, and he didn't listen to me. He said he didn't listen because he was afraid to lose her, just like you said. Yes. And they split up. But my answer to this was this. I said, look, you sit there and you say, I'm not going to go out with a girl who's texting her ex. So you either go out with me or you text him. You're not doing both. That's the choice. Now, if she and I explained to him, if she chooses him, then she's obviously going to fuck him sooner or later anyway. Like, all you're doing is accelerating the process. If you said, I'm going to leave you if you don't stop, and she said leave, then how many weeks do you think it's going to be until she sucks his dick? It's not. Now, my point is this. But by shocking her and offering her an instant attention takeaway, even if she walks out, never text her, never reply to her, completely ignore her unless she apologizes, then you might shock her system into getting what you want. So yeah, it's a risk because she might leave you, but is it really a risk if the outcome of her banging him is certain anyway? It's just accelerating the process for a chance at victory. So I use this with the chess analogy. I say, if you're in a losing position and you're definitely going to lose, and you can see that if you sacrifice your queen, there's a hope of victory, even if it's unlikely. Do you want to sit there and keep your queen on the board and slowly get ground down and lose? Or do you want to sacrifice your queen? It may not work, but you're going to lose eventually anyway. But it might work, and you pull off the most brilliant move in history. And this is my point, especially with relationships. Guys are so afraid of losing the girl that they never take that risk. I've done that exact situation countless times. And sometimes I've lost the girl. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I've lost the girl. But sometimes when I didn't lose the girl, I put myself in such a position of authority. And not in a bad way, but they knew not to fuck with me on such a level. People say to me, oh, Tate, your girl does whatever you want. She knows you have other girls. She never leaves you. How? It's like, because she's tried to test me, and I stuck to my guns to such a point that she knows now. So I can give you old stories, whatever, but I had an argument with this girl. We were out, she was at my house. She was at my house for like 3 days. I said, can you make me a coffee? I'm working. She goes, why would I make you coffee? I said, for 3 days you've been in my house. We've been out eating. I've taken you out. I'm now doing a bit of work. I've paid 2 meal bills. You're sitting in my house. I'd like a coffee. Is it a problem to make me a coffee? Yeah, because you told me to. It's all right. If you're not going to make me a coffee, then just leave. Fine, I'll go. All right, bye. Are you serious? Kicking me out of our coffee? I said, no, it's not about kicking you out of our coffee. It's about the fact that I looked after you for days. I'm sitting here now working, you're doing nothing. I think it'd be polite if you made me a coffee. It's not a big deal. I didn't complain when I paid that £200 dinner. If you don't want to make me a coffee, then you're not the kind of girl I want to be with. Just leave. So she got in a mood, she got her stuff and left. Yeah? So the reason I pulled that move, most people think, Tate, you're being petty. But I pulled that move because otherwise, if she said no and I accepted it, what tone am I setting for the relationship?
Yes.
Tone am I setting? I had to lay it down. I said coffee. You said no. I said yes. You want to? Then get out. 2 days, 3 days, 4 days pass. Are you done being silly yet? Then she tries to pretend I'm being silly. So listen, I'm telling you now, I'm not going to be with a woman who's refused to do such a small thing for me. The kind of guy I am and the life I'm going to give you, the quality of man I am, and the kind of respect I have for myself, if you refuse to do something that small for me, I don't want to be with you. So you can stop texting me now if making me a coffee is a problem. Anyway, a few texts later, blah, 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 blah. A couple of days later, she comes to my house, and the first thing she does is make me a coffee. I said, you're not coming to my house, so she comes straight in the door and make the coffee. She goes, okay. Walked in, made the coffee. Left it, I didn't even drink it. But I won the exchange. But the whole point of it was I sacrificed my queen. I risked losing her forever. Most men are not prepared to do that. I risked losing her because I would never take her back without the coffee. But it's risk versus reward, isn't it? Look what I pulled off. Next time I say coffee, do you think she thought about it, or do you think she got up and fucking made it? And this is the point. Most men don't take that risk. And this is why I say in the PhD course, you got to be talking to so many girls that you're prepared to lose one. Because I'm not going to be in a relationship unless I'm in charge. Because if we're walking down the street and someone comes up and tries to take her handbag, I'm the guy who has to get stabbed to protect her. But she doesn't want to make me a fucking coffee. That's not a fair exchange. So I have to be in charge. That's how it's going to go. So if I have to make those big risk moves for the big rewards, I'm going to be that guy. That's how I'm going to be. So that's what a lot of it is. You have to look at life like that. I mean, a lot of people are, like you're saying, especially with girls, The fear of loss prevents them from really laying their shit down. I'm not saying you have to be a psycho. I'm not saying you have to be like that. You got to be fair and honest. You have to have certain boundaries that you won't break on. And she has to see it.
If you're a force of nature, which every man should be, every man in his own right should be a force of nature. If you're genuinely a force of nature and you come into a woman's life, you blow her mind. She have all the masculine energy she ever going to need. Where will she ever look at you and go, I'd rather hang around with this dude? Why?
Right.
There's a deficit there. A lot of these problems I don't ever have, ever.
Yeah.
And that's because, I fulfill their masculine void completely. That's my job as a man, and that's your job as a man. If your woman's truly, I want to hang around with 30 dudes. Something wrong. It's weird. It's not normal.
Well, these men are taught that it's wrong. Like when I say my girl has no male friends, they think, oh, you're a psycho, you must control her. I was like, no, she knows that she has the choice of being with me or having male friends, and she made her choice. So she doesn't have any, because I'm not going to have a girl surrounded by dudes, because that's my call. If you want to have male friends, that's fine, but you're not going to have me. So make a fucking decision. So I don't know why people think I'm the crazy one for sticking by my principles, and they're like, oh, how come you and your girl always get along? Because she ain't have a bunch of dudes in her ear trying to split us up. That's why we get along. That's why it's fine. Because I'm the one she talks to, me and my brother, and a bunch of other girls, and there's no dude in her ear saying, I'll be better to you, I can do better than all that shit that men put up with. They wonder why their life's so fucked up. But they're so afraid to do what I did with the risk versus reward. You have to be able to call a bluff. Trump said it. Trump said in his book, Art of the Deal, you have to know when to walk away from the table.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to do it. Most dudes never do it to a chick. You know what? The number of hot girls who I've dumped who hit me up years later. Years! And it's because they can't get over in their mind the one guy who dumped me, the one guy who didn't give in, the one guy who didn't care is that Tate fuck. That Tate guy. He's the only guy who didn't give a shit about me. Every other guy gives me what I want. Why didn't he give me what I want? And then they think, I've got to try again to get him to give in. And they end up coming back. Because women aren't even familiar with this. Women don't even go, most hot girls have never had a dude bail. Ever. No, hot girls don't get kicked out over coffees. So when I did that to her, her brain fried. She couldn't believe it. She's like, oh, your personality, you're a psycho, trying to think of every reason why I kick her out over a coffee. And eventually it clicked. And she's like, you know what? I should have just made the coffee in the first place. So I told you. Eventually, she's right in her head.